possession. Now let's read the story, because this is the story that shows that whosoever calls upon the name of Jehovah, remember that's where our starting point is, and what it means to call on the name, and what it means to lift up the name. Yes?
And Moshe said to Joshua,
Yes?
choose us some men and go out, fight with Amalek.
Okay, so remember, Jehovah already knows that there are going to be war ahead of them. And therefore, he made them, according to the Bible, that they came out of Egypt in a military formation. I taught you that a couple of weeks ago. It's called Hamishim. 50s in columns of 5s, yes, as a military formation, yes. And then Moses told Joshua, his what? It's a lieutenant, to say, take some men. Many of us in the life, we don't want to fight. We don't want to go out and do anything. We sit down and pray. Moses could have raised up that his staff that he used to divide the... Was it the staff that divided the Sea of Reed?
No.
No. Because some people will say the staff divided the Sea of Reed. It was Jehovah that told him, use the what? Staff. The staff on its own can do nothing. Moses could have just knelt down and said, Jehovah, come and help us. These people want to kill us. But what did he say? Joshua, call men, go and fight. When you fight, there is no how you will not be injured, even if Jehovah is on your side. Understand that very well. You will see it now. Yes, go ahead.
So Joshua did as Moshe said to him,
Yes.
and fought with Amalek.
Yes.
And Moshe, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill.
Okay, so when they are fighting, we don't know what Jehovah told Moshe, and Moshe took two people, Aaron, the priest, and another man called Hur, and they went to the top of the hill. As Joshua, remember, the way that fights, if you have watched any of these ancient movies that they try to depict the ancient days, fights happen in the valley, while the two soldiers will camp on the two hills. Okay? If you get to the hill before the other people, then you can use the arrow and finish everybody in the valley. If they are caught in the valley, all you need to do is to surrender. Unless you know how to do the tortoise shield cover. Tortoise shield cover, you watch the movies, they have a way of use their shield, so that when the arrow, they shoot it and it's coming down, they block themselves. Now, so Moses and Joshua was fighting in the valley. You have to picture it. And Moses and two people, Aaron and Hur, went up to the mountain to do something. Yes?
And so it was,
Yes?
when Moshe held up his hand, that Israel prevailed.
Moses raised up his hands. He raised up both of his hands. They were in the top of the mountain and raised up his hand. We're reading Exodus chapter 17, verse 8. Exodus 17, verse 8. Amalekite decided to fight against the children of Israel who were coming out of Egypt, an unprovoked war. And we will see what Jehovah has done, what Jehovah's name has done, yes, or will do here, yes.
And so it was, when Moshe held up his hand, that Israel prevailed.
Moses, how old was Moses at this time? Moses' life is broken into three, right?
So
40,
yes.
40, 40. What's the first 40?
Verse 14, Egypt.
Brother Chus, always allow the other people to answer. First 40 in Egypt. Second 40 in wilderness. In Midian. Last 40 he died at 120. 40, 40, 40. All the children, we're going to do quiz. Remember, so that we test what you are learning. Okay, and some adults too, so that we test what you are learning. Not only for the children. Now, yes, Moses at this time was how old? 80 or 80 something, 81, whatever. But because he went back to Egypt when he was 80, and it took him how many days from when he went back to live? About he left on the 15th, right? He performed 10 plagues on 10 different days. Okay, so let's say give or take 12 or 15 days from when he went in to when he left. So he was on his 80th birthday, okay? He was not 81 yet. He was an old man. When he held up his hand and they looked down to the valley, they see that the children of Israel are killing the Amalekites. But he's an old man. As his hand is tiring, the Amalekites will start killing the children of Israel. So they didn't realize it initially, but then They now notice, okay, anytime that his hand is up, our people will be winning. Anytime his hand is down, they are winning our people. What does it mean to win our people? They are killing them. Even though Jehovah is with them. But Jehovah is teaching us a lesson here which we will see. So, they decided to do something. This is why in our life, when you are doing business or going to school or trying to do a course and you are trying, it's not working. You are praying, it's not working. You are putting your effort, it's not working. Change your strategy. Devise another means, not to abandon what you are doing, but maybe you are not doing it the right way. You will see what these people did. They now realize, oh, we now see why this man is not able to hold his hands up. War happens like for the whole day. War is not a 1 hour thing. Okay, you fight, the commander says retreat, you retreat and you go again. Okay, so while he was holding his hand, it was difficult for him to hold his hand for 24 hours. And then they decided to do something, yes?
But Moses' hand became heavy, so they took a stone, yes, and put it under him.
So they gave him a chair. Okay? They don't have chair like they're all sitting on comfortable plastic chairs. They gave him a stone. Because if people will think that if Jehovah so loved me, he will give me a water bed that I will be sleeping. I went to a house that they are building in Banana Island, and I saw the bedroom is in an oval form, and the bed can be swinging around when you are sleeping, like this. I said, okay. This is very important. It does not mean that you have to sleep on that bed for you to know that your wife is with you. Moses on top of the mountain, probably under the heat of the sun or the cold, depending on the weather, and that time was around March, April, right? Because that's when they left, was under that, and he's an old man. And they gave him a stone to sit upon, yes?
And he sat on it.
Yes.
And Aaron and Hur supported his hand.
Okay, so come and support my hand, 2 of you, quickly. Move your body now. You cannot move like Aaron, like the head. So that's how they supported his hand. One person puts, it's okay, thank you. One person puts their hand under his mouth, and the other one, they held Moses' hand like that, okay? For you to understand what was going on, yes?
And the other on the other side, yes. And his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. Until the going down of the sun. More than 12 hours, they had to hold his hand for him, so that, why were they holding his hand? Because they realized that if his hand was falling, the Amalekites will be prepared. So they decided to hold his hand. Since it was, once you hold the hand of Moses, we will be winning, yes? So Joshua defeated Amalek, yes, and his people with the edge of the sword. He defeated them, killed them. When they say edge of the sword, what does that mean? Killing. He killed all of them, yes? Then Jehovah said to Moses, yes, write this for a memorial. Write this for a memorial. In the book. In the book. And recount it. That's why we are reading it today. Because Jehovah told him this particular story. There may be other stories that happened that were not written for us. But Jehovah told him this particular story, write it. And that's why we are trying to find the lesson in it that made Jehovah to ask Moses to document this particular story. Yes? And recount it in the hearing of Joshua. Yes? That I will utterly blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under the heaven. Remember that it is not the entire Amalekites that were destroyed, only the soldiers that came to fight. The people of Amalek were still in their country, but Jehovah now swore. Write it for Moses and for Joshua. That's why when Moses was about to die, in Joshua 1 verse 8, what did he tell Joshua? This book of all the things that Jehovah has told me to write for you, read it all the time. When you have succeeded, after you have succeeded in a small success, you have done a business and it has worked, or you have succeeded in a particular way of working and it has worked, always repeat that success to yourself, especially when difficulties come. Because there is something, if you have never done anything successful in your life, what example can you draw from? If you have ever held a job and you are promoted on that job, then you lost that job, then it is not that all hope is lost. There is something you have done before that ended that promotion, which means you can do it again. All you require is to find another job and not to sit down at home and be crying, oh, if only I had a water no bed. Jehovah, how come you did not love me?
you now vex, you complain, and you eat up the small success that's in front of you. He told him, write it down so that he will continue to read it. And Joshua faced many, many more wars, more ferocious wars than this one. But Joshua will say, we can see that Jehovah delivered us from the hands of Amalekites. And eventually Moses would have come down, and Aaron and Hur, and told them the story. You guys don't know how you won, eh? It was when my hands was going down, Joshua will say, okay, no wonder. Then when you started winning, then Joshua will realize that and keep that in his remembrance. That's why Jehovah told him to write it down for him, yes?
And Moshe built an altar and called its name, Jehovah is my banner.
This altar, did they make sacrifice on it? Because many people have used altar, anywhere they find altar, Isaiah 19:19, and use it to tell you that anywhere you see altar, it is for what? Sacrifice. He made a monument. He built a pillar. They used the word altar, and he gave that pillar a name, and he called it what?
Jehovah is my banner.
That's not what they call it. They don't speak English.
Nisi.
Jehovah Nisi. Everybody. Jehovah Nisi. Now, what does Jehovah Nisi mean?
Jehovah is my banner.
That's what the people have told you. You speak Hebrew. How do you know that Jehovah Nisi means Jehovah is my banner? You are trusting the King James translators, right? At your own risk. Okay, so what is a banner? A covering. No. You are using the song to condition your mind. The banner over us is love. Okay, so that song is telling you that the banner is canopy. Abi? But I'm asking you, forget about song, forget about religion. What is banner? Identity that you use to announce something, isn't it? That's what banner is. Forget about all the way that they have conditioned you in church or school. You know that if somebody wants to do marriage today, we will put a big banner. Or even when we decide to make a banner for this program, we make a banner and put it. There's a banner outside. We put it on top for everybody to see. What are we trying to do when we do that? We are announce our identity. And again, what again? Like you see at the bigger churches that put it on big billboards and they choose strategic locations, right? What are they trying to do? Advertise their. And what does advertise do? It draws customers' attention. What else does it do? How does it draw customers' attention? It creates awareness. What does it mean to create awareness?
To show the name of the church.
To show the name of the church. To lift up, right? A banner is something you lift up above so that all distractions, if you watch, most of the billboards that they put, even for recharge card, they will put a nice looking lady that is smiling.
Yes.
Why? What is attracting the men first is the lady. And even the women will also check the cloth that the lady is wearing before they look. And this is what we study in marketing, actually. All is to condition your brain so that, okay? Now, let's go back to the Bible. Here was Moses. He called this place, provided we lift up the name of Jehovah, we will continue to do what? Win. It is Jehovah is lifted up. What's the meaning of the name Jehovah? I will be what I will be. Okay? Now, I will be what I will be. Jehovah is what? The lifted up. And provided I continue to lift up the name of Jehovah, I will be able to surmount any battle that I am in. It is not banner, it is Jehovah the lifted up. Jehovah Nissi means Jehovah lifted up. Not Jehovah is my banner. It's not about one person. It's about the lifted up person. The lifted up one for the whole of Israel is Jehovah. provided we lift him up, we are able to conquer even the Amalekites that decide to attack you in an unprovoked manner. Nobody says that the attack will not touch you in one way or the other. Remember, there must be some Israelites that lost their lives on that day, because there were times when the Amalekites were prevailing. And what's prevailing? Somebody either will be dead or will be hacked by the knife or whatever, get injured. But provided that Moses was lifting up the hand and lifting up the name, he was not carrying anything. But clearly, he realized that this was about the name of Jehovah. Provided we make him our banner, meaning our lifted up one, our advertisement, our banner, our brand, we lift him up. What does it mean to lift? Not by speaking the name alone. Speaking the name alone does not mean you are lifting the name of Jehovah. It is your character, your word, your speech, your behavior, your dressing, your mood, your friends. Everything about you will tell people around you that you are lifting the name of Jehovah, and he will know. Then he will fight your battle. Even if the Amalekites decide to attack you, even in an unprovoked fashion. It is not just we who calls the name. We have been calling the name of Jehovah. Yet, we will, if you do not endure to the what? End. Just like Moses found a way to endure to the end by two people holding his hands. That's how they prevailed. Okay, so something I just mentioned in passing here. Altar is not always about sacrifice. You can take the verse and go and read. There are 364 places where the word altar is used in your King James Version. Many of them is for sacrifice, there is no doubt, but many of them also is for memorial. To say, the place that Jacob, when he was running away from his brother Esau, and he put a stone, these people did not have home. Jacob, as much as blessed as he was, it was a stone that he used to do what? Pillar. Maybe the stone and small polythene bag that he was carrying with his tattered clothes in it, he put it on there and he slept in Genesis chapter 28. And then he saw a vision, when he actually a dream. When he woke up, he said, Jehovah is here and I do not know. And he made a pillar or an altar, they will say. Yeah. So that, and Jehovah warned the children of Israel. What was one of the warning he gave them in Leviticus? He said, when you are coming out of this land and you see certain landmarks, don't remove them. Why? Because those are the ones that Abraham put, Isaac did, Jacob did. Your forefathers put landmarks. Because those landmarks were for them to realize and remember the things that the encounters that they had with Jehovah. They did not have pen and paper to write. Many people were not literate. The first people who were even very literate in the world were the Jews themselves after they came out of Egypt. Okay, so you can read that yourself and see that altar is not always about sacrifice. Okay? Now, who are these Amalekites that decided to fight against the Genesis 36 verse 10? Quickly.
Genesis 36 verse 10.
Yes.
It says, these were the names of Esau's son.
Esau. Who is Esau? Jacob's twin. Esau. Twin brother. Okay? Twin brother.
Eliphaz, the son of Ada, the wife of Esau.
Yes.
Reuel, the son of Basemath, the wife of Esau.
Yes.
The sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho,
yes,
Gatam, and Kenaz. Now Timnah was the concubine of Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bore Amalek to Eliphaz.
So you can see that Amalek is a descendant of who?
Esau.
The brother of, the father of I say the father now. The father of Israel. Jacob, the father of who? Israel. The people that came out and their great grand cousin, right, is the one that came to what? fight against them. Now, but Jehovah swore in Exodus 17 that he will do what? He will blot them out, and he will fight with them a generational war. That war is still till today. 3 days ago, 2 gunmen went and killed 4 Jews, or 4 Israelites, not Jews, in Tel Aviv. Okay? So, there is always that war is continuing. The Amalekites, the Philistines, that war is continuing. But why is it continuing? It's because Shaul did not do the work that he was supposed to do. In First Samuel chapter 15, we know the story very well, right? He was asked to, now I remember the thing that I swore that I will always fight against Amalek. And you know where the Jehovah made the oath, right? Where is that? Exodus 17. But Shaul went there and did not do exactly what Jehovah has asked him to do. Yesterday, I was writing some people and about Shavuot, and they're saying that they are keeping the commandments of Jehovah, and then the rest of the world are not doing the good things and all that and all that. But I realized that they are Orthodox and they are not keeping the commandments according to the words of Jehovah. Now, this man obeyed the voice and went for the war and killed most of the people, but the commandment was total destruction. So when you do something partially and your heart is not fully there, the master does not think about whether what you say in your mouth. Because when Samuel came to Shaul, he said, "Blessed be you, Samuel of Elohim, because I have obeyed the commandment of Jehovah." And Samuel said, okay, what are those men that I'm hearing there? Oh, that, okay. Listen, the thing is that we decided to bring the fattened cow so that we can take it to Gilgal and perform sacrifice for Jehovah. Jehovah is not interested in sacrifice. He has said it times and times again. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Obedience comes before sacrifice. I've explained this mystery to you. There was no sacrifice in Exodus 19. All Jehovah wanted is, will you people obey my voice? And they said, yes. Obedience is always before sacrifice. Sacrifice was a temporary covering, which you will see if you read it, because Moses said, wait here, let me go up and beg Jehovah. Maybe he will atone. Atone means cover. Make a temporary cover for your sin. The temporary cover was then the process and the sequence of sacrifice. That's why if you are obeying, you do not need sacrifice. Even if you need sacrifice today, there is no place to offer it. If you are offering it, you are killing human beings. So says the Bible. It says that the blood of those animals will be searched out from you. The one that I have killed, Jehovah, Iko. Because I killed one before. But he knows our hearts. That provided you hear the truth and you decide to do it, he is able to have mercy. Mercy is what? Suspended merited judgment. He will now wipe out the 10% you did not make up and say, come in, my son. Yeshua, what did he say? He said, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine till I drink it again with you in my Father's kingdom. Which means, do you believe the word of Yeshua? Yes. Which means, we will drink wine in the kingdom. Is that what it means? Yes. When we enter the kingdom, he said, yes. Brother Chidi, welcome. Here is your glass of gold cup, not glass. Not the glass is very cheap. Because if the road is made of gold, then the cup we're going to use to drink was made of what? Diamond or sapphire. He will pour the glass of, not Yeshua will pour, angels that will come there, they will pour the glass of wine for me and for him, and he say, to life. To life what? Everlasting. Well done. it is that well done that because of that well done that you're here. Every other thing you do in between is past time. It is because of that well done, that sharing that wine with Yeshua, that he said he will drink again with us. That's why we are here. If that is not why you are here, then after eating jollof rice today, please stay in your house. Okay. Now, I'm not going to keep on telling you the story. Now, what is the conspiracy? I remember the word that my friend on Facebook used yesterday. It says distractions. That the distractions are the ones that's making the world not to obey the commandment of Jehovah. Now, why is it that the name of Jehovah, that we can see that if we lift it up by our behavior, our speech, our dressing, our countenance, our relationship in the sight of the people, what Jehovah hates, you see that in the book of Jeremiah, when he says, you people profane my name among the Gentiles, because the Gentiles are seeing how you are behaving and they are asking, are these not the people of Jehovah who say they are set apart? So your behavior is even worse than your speech. The way you carry yourself is worse than your speech. When you tell people, I am coming by 3 o'clock, make it by that time. If you keep a relationship that is working with Jehovah, it will help you in your professional life as well. If you are an early bird, you don't do Nigerian time, African time, because Jehovah does not do what? African time. Within the book of Revelation, he says there is an angel which has been ordained at a particular year, in a particular month, in a particular week, in a particular hour. That's the way it is stated, waiting at the river Euphrates to do his own part. Everything is done. Now, why is it that this name is people are struggling very hard to hide it away from you and I? Why is it that the name Jehovah, which we saw, was able to win a war against the Amalekites, which we are stronger, because these soldiers are living in their city, they have their houses, they eat good food, but these people are eating manna. And they are a band of people in the wilderness. Therefore, they definitely are less what? Prepared. Jehovah told them, you people must not have chariots. Chariot, you know what chariot is, right? So, chariot is equivalent of an armored personnel carrier today, or you know what armored personnel carrier is? He said, throughout your existence in this life, Israel, never you have chariots. Because I want your dependence to be on me. Even though every time you go for war, the opposing soldier will always outnumber you, out-equip you, out-master you, but the strategist is me, Jehovah. Leave it out to me. Why don't you leave him in your life so that he can perform the strategy in your life? But you have to first of all do what? Lift his name up. You have to lift his name up. Many of us, we tend to blend with the society. We don't want to stand out on our own. We don't want to stand out and be known for something. You want to always blend. You're a chameleon. If you go to Rome, you behave like Rome. You go to Egypt, you boy Siana. You go to Persia, you raise your leg up. No, you are supposed to be known that if you have been known by your name, that you are a child of Jehovah, you are supposed to be known. Nobody should ever invite you for wedding on Saturday. Nobody should ever invite you to nightclub or to some party where everybody dresses naked. Nobody should ever invite you to where people will drink and fall down and forget who is their wife. Nobody should invite you to those kind of places because they know you are never going to stand for those kind of things. Nobody will ever come to say, let's go and defraud somebody, let's steal money, let's change, let's do this. No. Because you are raising by your character every day that Jehovah is indeed your banner. You are raising that. But because that name is so powerful, they are hiding it from us. That's why the name Jehovah is not heard. Nobody speaks it. Those of us that speak it, they are waiting for thunder to strike us. Don't you know? That's what they are waiting. Because they've taught them a big lie that Deuteronomy chapter 28, where all the curses have been outlined, is telling us not to call the name. That if we call the name, all the curses will be upon those people that call the name. If calling the name will bring a curse, I will call it like that. Because I have seen where it has saved people. Where calling the name, lifting up the name has done more than what people are saying. But because there's always been a grand plan to hide this all-powerful name, there is no other name in this world that somebody does not bear. The only name that somebody does not bear is Jehovah. Somebody is bearing Yeshua. It's a common name. Somebody's name is Jesus. It's a common name. There is even somebody whose name is Chineke. Chineke Okaka. There's a footballer or something who is Okaka Chineke. Right? He's a footballer. That's his name. If you remember, he's a Nigerian footballer playing in Europe. I remember that name clearly. Okaka Chineke somebody. Chineke is even good for somebody to answer because Chineke means idol that creates. Chineke means idol that creates. Even though in your mind you are referring it to Yehovah, I know, and there is nothing. It is not an abomination because I read somewhere in the Bible, Book of Psalms, chapter 44. You can note it down, go and find it. I'm going to read it. It says, even if we have forgotten the name of our Elohim, He will search out our heart and see whether it is Him that we want to call, and He will answer. Okay? Even if you have forgotten. However, if you have not forgotten or you have been reminded, don't continue in the ignorance of forgetting, because then He's searching your heart, knowing that you chose not to do the right thing, deciding to put Him to a test. Now, the King James Version, if you read it, they told us that, so if you are sleeping, then you are not lifting the name of Jehovah, isn't it?
Correct.
Very good. Now, in the King James Version of the Bible, 7 places, no matter how hard they tried to hide it, they couldn't hide it. How many of you have King James Version? Read it, you will see. They couldn't hide the name. In these places in the Bible, they know that if they change the name and put Lord, which is the normal way that they do, it will not make any meaning. Therefore, they were forced to leave the name there. By the way, it says Jehovah, but in the King James Version, the original King James, which was written in when? Everybody here should be a Bible scholar now. If you have been coming here, you have not learned up to 1611. What is 1611?
16,611 years after in the common era.
So I need you to understand, when you mention 1611, you have to know what it is. We are now in 2016, okay? When the year was after the common era was 1611, was when King James, which was the king of England and France, authorized, after he had killed other people that tried to write the Bible, he authorized that, okay, now I authorize people to write the Bible. When you finish writing it, I'm going to put my name on it. I'll show you. Let me see if I have it here quickly. Can you see that? This is the original 1611 King James Version. If you find it, if you have money, please go and look for it and buy. If you look at the cover of that Bible, when you buy it, this is what you will see. This is what you will see. Here, the King James people understood, they put the understanding of the Bible in the cover. Here is Moses with the tablet of stone. Here is Aaron with the priestly dressing. Here are the elders. Here is the dove representing the Holy Spirit. I will show you a bigger picture. And what is here?
That's the name.
In the King James Version of the Bible, that picture that you could not see, I'm just trying to blow it up here. Here. This thing here, you could not see. This is it here. What is that?
The name.
In the 1611 King James Version, the name Yehovah was written on the cover page. But subsequent translations, the one that you and I now have, they removed it. Why? On the cover page, the people understood that Moses and the law is important. The commandment and the priestly ordinance is important. This Holy Spirit is important, and above all is the name of Jehovah on everything. This is their understanding of the Bible, and that's what they represented on the cover of the 1611 King James Version. Why is it that in this era, the new versions that you have replaced everything with law, following the Jewish tradition of, let's call the name Adonai. Some people are even calling themselves Adonai. Okay, let's go back to. So the name, they tried to hide it, they couldn't hide it. Take the quotation and go and read it yourself. You can see, and Abraham called the name of that place Yehovah. What does Yehovah Yireh mean?